Howdy, y'all. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Early here. Still cold outside. It's like -6. We're supposed to get up to around 1 Celsius about noon. Maybe warm up to like 3 or 4 Celsius today. It's our first time above freezing since Saturday. So should melt some stuff. And then it's going to turn around and get cold again. You get a couple days above freezing, but then cold again. Going through a cold spell. I'm tired, I just barely woke up. What's going on with y'all today? Bizarre, curious, and strange UK things. Hey, Ben. That's the topic. Bizarre, curious, and strange UK things. Y'all got some weird stuff over there? Hey, Genghis. What you cooking today, Genghis? What's on the menu? I'm tired and busy. Busy with work. You got a storm again? Rain or snow? Genghis. If I'm not on the list, I couldn't find a list you weren't on. I tried, Ben. I was like, wow, man, Ben is on every list. I keep pulling up. I was like, this really makes him look bad. You got enough going against you. I don't want to use any of those lists. But you're on them all. I'm sorry, Ben. Hey, Adrian. Good afternoon. I feel bad for Ben. No. So I did look up several lists of things, and I didn't really look at them hard. Like, it's going to be a live reaction while I look at your bizarre, curious, and strange things. I just pulled up several articles, different things, some events, some history. I didn't really look at them because I wanted to see what they were. Blind. Smoked mackerel and mash, gravy and greens. That does sound good. I mean, we do have smoked mackerel here. Probably the most popular smoked fish here is salmon. I guess because we have a lot of salmon from Alaska, I don't know. But I see smoked mackerel, smoked cod, a few other smoked fish in our stores. I think most commonly eaten is probably smoked salmon. I like them all. And mash. Gravy and greens. What kind of greens? When we say greens, we mean leafy greens. Yeah, mackerel. I'm trying to think. I think I've had canned or tinned mackerel. I don't think I've ever had it outside of a can. Yeah, I need to do a cooking in Dallas video on my other channel. I just haven't had time. I need to cook something over there. I'm busy now. Like I told you yesterday, pipes burst, and now I'm working day and night, stacking up dollar bills. Out now on the channel, Castle Coon and Tate Britain. And I released Biddeford and Yeovil from the members only. But the new videos are Castle Coon and Tate Britain. Also, I released just a minute ago Welsh Rabbit. And it's doing better than all those other videos already. It's got more views than Castle Coon already. Welsh Rabbit. I never know what y'all are going to want to watch. I don't know what I'm going to cook, Genghis. Last night I made pizza. Just threw together pizza. Not frozen pizza. I made pizza. We get pizza dough at Trader Joe's. I made a white pizza and a red pizza. White pizza with mushrooms. A red pizza with calabrese sausage. It was good, but it was just kind of easy. I don't know what I'm going to cook on the channel though. Haven't decided yet. Yeah, the Castle Coon video, I'm going to watch another one. It was unnarrated. I've even got to the point where I'll kind of check and see, you know, like I'll play the first 5 seconds of a video to see, is it AI, is it narrated? In that video, it starts out, the guy's like, welcome to Castle Coon, or he starts talking at the beginning. It's like, okay, I stopped it. Then I watched it, and it was unnarrated. So I couldn't get a good idea of what I was looking at. It looks nice. It was winter. It was snowing there. And that's kind of why I watched it. I saw the thumbnail. I was like, oh, that'd be cool to see. Broccoli and French beans with carrots. Oh, that sounds good, Genghis. Yeah, that sounds good. But yeah, Castle Coon, good. I mean, I'll watch another one. I think I've seen it in another video where they went through Castle Coon. I can't remember which video it is. But I think I saw it briefly before. Yeah, I know Adrian was in the comments explaining stuff. I thought maybe you would. Yeah, the one place that looked really cool, I guess, is where you can stay. Yeah, I've forgotten the name already. Yeah, I need one narrated. Tate Britain is someplace I'm going. I've always decided, it's always been on my list. I told you a lot of the videos you're going to see me are places that I'm really going. Those are coming out soon. Along with a mix of places I'm just looking at. But yeah, Tate Britain, I'm going. So yeah, neither one of those are getting very many views. The Welsh Rabbit video that just came out, it's getting views. Uh, let's see, yeah, I've been busy. Oh, you know, I released I released that Wurzel's video, I don't know, a few days ago. It got a few views though. That's funny. I mean, it didn't go gangbusters, but it got some views. People were commenting on the Wurzel's video once it got to the regular channel. Of course, that video's copyrighted. But some people watched it and enjoyed it. That was Ben's idea. Alright. Bizarre, curious, strange UK things. I just thought it'd be a fun topic. Just Trying to think of something fun to do. And I think I put in a search strange or UK things. Yeah, people did it. I could tell from the comments people enjoyed the wordless reaction. I think it only got 300 or 400 views. No, actually, I think it got like 500, 600 views. But I could tell from the comments the people that watched it did enjoy it. I'd never heard of the Wurzel's or that song, but I knew the song it was a parody of the roller skating song. So, and out tomorrow on the channel, I don't even know. I'm working day and night. Yeah, Adrian, you've seen them live. The Wurzels. I'm working day and night right now. Daytime on the projects I'm working on, then I'm doing drywall repairs in the evening. And so it's hard. I don't even know what's coming. I don't even know what I'm going to put out tomorrow. Something. I mean, on my list, I think there's, if I were caught up on editing and reacting, I think it's supposed to be a video about a couple that moved to Scotland and a video about places in Wales. It may or may not come out tomorrow. Different places in Wales. I'm trying to look at Wales a little bit and decide what I want to see there. Aside from Snowdonia and Pembrokeshire, which I do want to visit. I'm trying to find the places and towns and cities, places of interest in Wales. So yeah, probably that's what comes out tomorrow. The video that's like, I think it's like 15 of the best places in Wales. And then that'll give me a starting point to start looking at Wales. I mean, I have some reactions to Wales. Tenby, Cardiff, Snowdonia, a couple of other ones that I forget. But so yeah, I think that'll be out tomorrow, along with a couple that he's Scottish. I can't remember the name of their channel. It's my first time watching. Oh, I think the channel's called Simply Scottish. Are their names Zach and Annie Genghis? I'm not sure. I think the channel's called Simply Scottish. And she's American, he's Scottish. They moved from the U.S. to Scotland. I found the channel and I thought it looked interesting, but I haven't watched any of them. I haven't seen it. I think, is Zach and Annie their names? Genghis? You're part Welsh, Adrian? Yeah, I mean, Wales looks beautiful. For sure. Oh, actually, the video that I'm about to watch is Northern Wales. I think it's 10 or 15 places to see in Northern Wales. And I'm interested in that. Northern Wales. I did look at Tenby. It looks really nice. And I thought Cardiff looked pretty cool too. Beautiful in North Wales, Adrian. I have heard such. That's why I saw that video. Oh, North Wales. And it's going to tell me 10 or 15 hotspots. So I thought it'd be a good video to watch. I never know what video will be good though, especially when I venture outside of channels that I've watched before. So anyway, so I looked up some of these bizarre, curious, strange UK things. I think I just put in the search something like that. And a few articles, actually a lot of articles. I mean, I was scrolling for days. So much bizarre, strange weird stuff y'all got over there. I mean, the articles just kept coming up. And at the top of all of them, it said Ben. He's leading the list. So yeah, I found a bunch. I didn't really look. Yeah, I saw Conway. I've been looking at wells on my own, Adrian. And I've seen no videos, but I've seen Conway. I don't know how to say a lot of these. I gotta learn. But I've seen that, and I've seen that castle, and a few other places I noticed. I'm also gonna start doing some more property reaction video. Pronounced Conway. Okay. I saw uh, I saw a property video. I think in Rithen. I was gonna watch that. It looked real short. Where they just show like a house for sale, how much it cost. Like the one I watched, the Devon Cottage one. We'll do some more of those. I'm curious, what's it cost to buy a house in Rithen? Well, but I saw Conway. There's another castle, Denby. In Denby. Oh man, there's a castle up there too. You probably know what I'm talking about, Adrian. In Denbighshire, maybe. I don't think it's called Denby Castle. I think it starts with a D. Right, that word, Adrian. I also saw that place come up. I had no idea how to pronounce that. But in my cursory look around, because I'm looking at maybe staying in that area. So I was looking around. I saw that one. Carnarvon. I don't know. Wells has the most castles. Yeah, Wells looks interesting. Carmarthen. Okay. I will, before I start reacting, I will try to get the names correct when I say them. Right now, I don't know. I've just been reading and I don't know how to pronounce them. Okay, let's some of this weird stuff. So weird. So weird. Where do I start? I just pulled up some articles, but I didn't really read them. So, disclaimer, these could not be true. Sometimes articles like this are kind of clickbaity if you put in searches like this. And I can't vouch for what is true and what is not true. Maybe you can tell me. I've got some here that are like Britain's quirkiest events. This other one here is called, yeah, those are more kind of events. Here's bizarre historical events you didn't know about the UK. So that's bizarre history. This other one, yeah, so I have several articles here. Oh, this one's called Unbelievable Facts. Oh, maybe. Here's one. Let's start here. Running with a burning barrel event in Devon. That could be on the list. Hi, June. Let's start with this one. This one is called 15 UK history facts that aren't true. So I've got some other articles about events and things and just weird stuff, but this one is from a channel called, I don't know what that is, Exploring Galleries. But it's called 15 UK history facts that aren't true. Let's see what these are. I haven't read them. Okay. Okay, this one says in World War One, the British Army were called lions led by donkeys. Hey Neil, good to see you. Have you ever heard this phrase? The phrase lions led by donkeys has come to exemplify British attitudes towards World War One. I've never heard that phrase. Time and again, thousands of brave British soldiers were sent over the top to be mowed down by German guns in an often vain attempt to reclaim a few square miles of Belgian mud. The cycle of slaughter did not reflect well on the army's aristocratic commanders, on whose orders the flower of British youth lived and died. This trope is personified by the buffoonish General Melkett in British comedy series Blackadder, who strategizes that doing precisely what we've done 18 times before is exactly the last thing they'll expect us to do this time. It says, understandably appealing, this portrait of British higher-ups as incompetent toffs quaffing sherry in a plush headquarters miles away from the action isn't fair. They were hardly blameless, but generals had to adapt quickly to a new era of industrial warfare in which defense was much stronger than offense, and in the words of French Commander General Mangan, whatever you do, you lose a lot of men. The officer class was also expected to lead from the front and suffered a higher casualty rate than the old ordinary soldier. Okay, so it's saying that's not true. Have you ever heard that phrase? I never heard that phrase. Lions led by donkeys. Okay, here's another one. The 100 Years' War lasted for 100 years. Okay, no it didn't. I think we all know that. The 100 Years' War was not 100 years. That's weird. Okay, how about this? So these are UK historical, I guess, facts, in quotes, that aren't true. Queen Victoria said, "We are not amused." That's a famous quote by Queen Victoria. "We are not amused." Supposedly said by unsmiling Queen Victoria in response to a risque joke. "We are not amused" is one of British history's best-known quotes. The line helps paint Victoria as Britain's grumpiest monarch and has come to epitomize the stiff humorlessness of the Victorian era. However, if we believe the Queen's nearest and dearest, the quote is as false as the impression it creates. Apparently, her granddaughter, Princess Alice, claimed that she never uttered that immortal phrase. It also says that she wasn't as grumpy as everyone thought. So, it says often people didn't smile much in those times during photos, but that her diaries reveal her to be, let's see, not grumpy, basically. Yeah. So have you heard that? Your native language was German, Adrian. Have you ever heard the phrase, "You're all German princes, the kings of Europe"? You know, royalty from Europe was highly influenced by Germans all over Europe. Anyway, apparently Queen Victoria did not say, "We're not amused." I haven't looked at this article. How about this? Richard III was a murderous monster? Apparently he was not. That has a lot to do with William Shakespeare's portrayal of him. It says it's an unfair portrayal of Richard III. Historians agree that the princess in the tower died on his orders, but he played no part in Clarence's death. Lady Anne probably died of tuberculosis. So did y'all think Richard III was a murderous monster? How about this? Guy Fawkes was the leader of the gunpowder plot. There's no question that Guy Fawkes is the public face of the gunpowder plot. He was found lurking in the basement. We all know the story. But he's also become go-to anti-establishment symbols. We all know this. He's the only gunpowder plotter most people have heard of, but he was merely the group's triggerman. Landowner Robert Catesby was the mastermind, supported by Thomas Winter, who recruited Fox. So he wasn't the main guy. How about the Battle of Hastings was England versus France? Every British school child can tell you that in 1066 William the Conqueror became King of England by defeating Harold the Saxon at the Battle of Hastings. William came from Normandy, a region of France that he has held as a vassal of the French king. Harold the Saxon, meanwhile, was born in England, and in some contexts, historians use Anglo-Saxon synonymously with English. It is easy to see how Hastings has slotted into the long history of English-French animosity, particularly given the 250 years of England and France have spent at war since. The battle, however, was the closing chapter of a multi-candidate succession crisis, not a war between nations. So it wasn't really France versus England. It wasn't about nations. Yeah, he was a Norman Duke of Viking heritage. Culturally, ethnically, and linguistically separate from the French aristocracy. Yeah, Adrian says they were also Vikings. I don't know, this article is just about weird history things that aren't facts. Well, this one says Britain was last invaded in 1066. The Norman conquest kicks off the traditional chronology of English monarchs. This has helped create a patriotic myth that Fortress Britain has not been sullied by foreign boots for almost a millennium, that the British have done all the invading, none of the being invaded. It's true that 1066 was a hostile takeover of unusual scale and success, but it was not by any means the last. Indeed, a Danish army invaded northern England just 3 years later. The French then took up the task, and their 1216 invasion saw Louis VIII of France briefly proclaimed king. See, England and Scotland invaded each other repeatedly. So, 1066 was not the last time you were invaded. Not to mention that John Paul Jones raided Whitehaven. Not very successfully. He stole some ale from you. He had a few pints. When the U.S. invaded you. So, it's not true. How about this one? Richard the Lionheart was chivalrous and good. Apparently, not so much. His sailing reputation endures via the tale of Robin Hood, in which good King Richard returns from crusade to save England from the ravages of his avaricious brother, bad King John. But Richard was no angel, and his decade on the throne was no golden age. He tried to depose his own father twice. He showed little interest in ruling. On crusade, he repeatedly broke his promises to his ally, Philip II of France. He wasn't that good of a guy after all. Interesting. Okay, we probably know this. The Magna Carta was a declaration of universal liberty. It really wasn't. It was basically a concession. You probably know this. But ended up becoming much greater than its original intention. Some of these aren't that strange. Let's look at another one. Let's look at a different story. Okay, this is from a website called Anglotopia. It says if you're traveling to England for the first time or you're a frequent visitor, make sure to take some time to explore the villages. You may come across some weird English traditions that seem unconventional or even absurd, but they often have deep roots and traditions that date back to centuries. Some of these are really bizarre with ancient roots. Some are more recent inventions. All are interesting. Britain is such a fascinating place with all these strange British traditions. And now it's going to tell me about them. What will the celebrations be like in 26? Oh, yeah, 1,000 years. Hmm. All right, here's some weird things that y'all do. Strange British traditions. Okay, wife carrying race in Dorking. We do some of that in the U.S. It's a unique and exciting event that takes place annually in the town of Dorking, England, as the name suggests. The main objective of the race is for male participants to carry their female partners through an obstacle course in the shortest possible time. The race is not only a fun and light-hearted event, but also has its roots in Finnish tradition that dates back several centuries. You'll be racing around with your wives on your backs. Cheese rolling, of course, yes, probably on the list. How about this? Souling or soul caking is a tradition that was popular in England during the Middle Ages. It involves children known as soul cakers or soulers going from door to door, singing and praying for the souls of the dead. In return, they receive small cakes. The tradition was believed to have pagan roots. Today, the tradition is still celebrated in some parts of England, particularly in Cheshire and Lancashire. Is that true? Y'all ever heard of that? Souling or soul caking in Cheshire or Lancashire? Anybody ever put their wife on their back and run a race? Like in Dorking? How about the burning of the clocks in Brighton? It's a unique and visually stunning tradition that takes place in Brighton every year on the winter solstice. During the event, residents and visitors gather on the beach to parade through the city, carrying handmade paper and willow lanterns shaped like clocks and other timepieces. The procession culminates in a bonfire on the beach, where the lanterns are ceremoniously burned, symbolizing the passing of time and the start of a new year. The event has been part of Britain's winter festivities since 1994 and is a beloved tradition. That sounds kind of nice. Every year on the winter solstice. That sounds kind of nice. In Britain, anyone ever go there? Gigas, when you post yeah and no, I don't know what your yes, yeah and the no, because I usually ask questions like 3 or 4 in a row, and then a few seconds later, somebody puts up yes. No, I have no idea. But yeah, probably cheese rolling somewhere on here. Okay, that one in Brighton. The winter solstice seems kind of nice with the bonfire on the beach. How about Ottery tar barrels? It's a centuries old tradition that takes place on November 5th. Every year in Ottery, St. Mary, Devon. The main event involves a group of men carrying lit tar barrels on their backs through the crowded streets of the town. The barrels are believed to represent the pagan cleansing of evil spirits and the start of a new year. The tradition is dangerous and has resulted in injuries in the past, but is deeply ingrained in the town's culture and history. Oh, it sounds dangerous. Ottery tar barrels in St. Mary, Devon. That's crazy. What y'all doing that for? You know, things like that in the U.S. and like cheese rolling. I mean, those types of things are hard to do because people will sue. They'll sign up. Oh, let me put this lit thing on my back. Yeah, I'll sign up. Oh, you want me to sign a waiver saying I won't sue? Yeah, I'll sign that. And then as soon as they get hurt, they'll sue. They'll sue. I mean, there are some competitions like that in the U.S. We might even do cheese rolling somewhere, I don't know. But those events are hard to do. They're hard to keep going because the event organizer, they'll end up getting sued by some idiot who volunteered to do it and then later got hurt and decided, you know what, I'm going to sue. So those events, either they don't last or they're hard to put on. But yeah, if you're going to light a tar barrel and carry it on your back, you're going to get hurt. While selling traditional gathering in summer, they're drinking ciders to protect the new harvest of cider apples. I mean, that sounds fun. Dancing around the maypole is a traditional English celebration that dates back to the 14th century. It is typically held on May Day, the first day of May. It involves a tall pole decorated with ribbons and flowers. Participants hold the ribbons and dance around the pole, weaving in and out of each other to create intricate patterns. The tradition is believed to have pagan roots. It was later adopted by the Christian Church as a way to celebrate the arrival of spring. Today, the maypole tradition is still celebrated in many villages across England and is a fun and festive way to welcome the warmer weather. Dancing around the maypole. I should do the tar barrel video and the Atherton ball game. Alright. Hey, White Company. Talked with White Company before, several times, in the comments. I don't know if you've been in the live stream before. I think maybe once. I don't know, but I know White Company, y'all. In Oniton, they throw hot pennies into a crowd from above. What? They throw hot pennies into a crowd, Ben. Ben? Do they also throw square sausages at them? Man, you gotta be making that up. Ben, hot pennies? It's an 800-year-old tradition. Why would they do that? Do they throw triangle sausages too? Huh. So, are very many places around there do this May Day celebration? The maypole? Some places in the U.S. still do that. Has anyone ever gone to a May Day celebration? Has anybody ever heard of what Ben's talking about? They threw square sausage. You go every year. Yeah, Ben told me about square sausages. I'd never heard about them before. And I thought he was lying. But I'm going to invent triangle sausages. Unless somebody already has. Although, as Ben said, a square sausage has one more side of flavor than a triangle. Maybe I'll make an octagon sausage. Anyway, good to see you, White Company. Is there a tar barrel video? And what is the Atherton ball game? I'm asking so many questions. And then, I don't know, sometimes when y'all answer which question you're answering, but I should stop doing that. I was wondering about May Day and how many of you celebrate May Day. Morris Dancing in May celebrating. Because May Day, which we do some in the U.S., it is on our calendars. It'll usually say May Day. It's not a bank holiday or anything. Boomerang shaped sausage, just keep your mouth open. Well, boomerang shaped sausage, yeah, they just come right back to you. Jeannie loves Scottish square sausages, yeah. Ben was talking about them, and at first I was like, what are you talking about? I've never seen a square sausage. It's Old English football with no rules. And yes, we do May Day. Old English football with no rules. No rules? Just anarchy? Chaos? It kind of sounds fun. Okay, I'll look that up. I'll look that up. You love the Bee Gees song 1st of May. The reason why I stopped down at May Day is my birthday. It's my birthday. May 1st, 1969. May Day. It's my birthday. So I like it. Morris dancing. What is this Morris dancing? Morris dancing. Genghis says it. Adrian says it. In May, this is in May, you do something called Morris dancing. It's a bank holiday in the UK. Yeah, it's not a bank holiday here. I didn't see it when I looked up your bank holidays. It didn't say May Day. It said early spring. They call a holiday early spring. It's probably only a bank holiday when it falls on Monday. When May Day falls on Monday, then it's a bank holiday. Otherwise, it's probably the first Monday in May. I'm guessing, because when I looked up your bank holidays, it said early spring in May, and the date changes every year. Mine's June. I was born in January. Your name is June, and your birthday's in June. I am a Taurus. Yes, Adrian. Morris dancing is awesome in the summer with a pint. What is Morris dancing? I might have to look up Morris dancing. May Day is the first Monday in May. Oh, not on our calendars. On our calendars, May Day is May 1st. It's May 1st. Like I said, it's not a bank holiday. It's just, if you look on our U.S. calendars, it's May 1st. It always says May Day on May 1st, which again is my birthday, May 1st. I'll have to look up Morris dancing. This does say it is typically you celebrate May Day on the first day of May. They like sticks. I'm going to have to look up Morris dancing. I don't know what that is. Especially if they do it on my birthday. Maybe I need to learn how. Morris dancing is a traditional English folk dance dating back to at least 1448, characterized by choreographed, rhythmic, stepping, live music, and the use of bells, sticks, and handkerchiefs. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. Now I know. Yeah, thanks, Google. No, Ben, you knew that. Ben's like an encyclopedia. He just knows this stuff off the top of his head. Okay, so somebody teach me the Morris dance when I come. I'm thinking I might come on my birthday. I might be there on my birthday. Do a little Morris dancing. Bet the ladies would love that. Me out there with bells, sticks, and handkerchiefs. It's a little bit like a square dance. Okay. My parents used to square dance when I was a kid. I'd just sit there for hours. Just sitting there by myself in the corner watching all these old people square dance when I was a kid. It was boring. We didn't have phones and stuff back then. I was just staring at the walls. Anyway. May Day. It's my birthday. How about this? Jack in the Green in Hastings. Jack in the Green is a vibrant and colorful celebration that takes place every year in Hastings, England on May Day. The event involves a towering Jack in the Green figure made of greenery and flowers, which is paraded through the streets by a group of dancers and musicians. The tradition has its roots in pagan fertility. So that takes place on May Day in Hastings. Y'all really celebrate my birthday good over there. You'd like to see me Morris dancing, June? I got rhythm. Don't doubt me. I got rhythm. Ben practices every day, Genghis said. And Genghis knows. Most country villages outside A pub, okay. Ben, really good. I knew he would be. Ben, will you teach me? It won't be hard. I got rhythm. I just need to know the steps. We'll come over there. Me and Ben will put on a show for June. We'll put on a show for you, June. Me, Ben, and Genghis. And Adrian. Let's all learn. And Ben will teach us. We'll put on a show. Of course, I will probably be the best dancer. Because, as I said, I'm naturally gifted with rhythm. So I'll pick it up in no time. But yeah, Jack in the Green and Hastings also celebrated on my birthday. And when I come, I'm celebrating my birthday with the Morris dance. She says it's often done outside of a pub in country villages, but I'm bringing it to the city. I'm going to get up in the club with some Morris dancing. Here's dance school's expensive, Ben. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe. Genghis, can I get a loan? I thought education was free in the UK. That's funny. But yeah, I'm bringing the Morris dancing up to the clubs. I'll get there and show everybody. Gurning competition at Egremont Crab Fair is a unique and somewhat strange tradition that's taking place in English for over 700 years. The competition involves contestants pulling grotesque faces known as gurns while looking through a horse collar. The winner is the person who pulls the ugliest face, as judged by the audience. The tradition has its roots in the 13th century and was originally a way for farmers to entertain themselves during the long winter months. Today, the gurning competition is still going strong and draws large crowds of visitors who come to witness the bizarre spectacle and join in the fun. I could win this. The gurning competition. You just have to stick your head through a horse collar and make an ugly face. So my regular face is ugly. I don't have to make much. What's the prize money? Some of the faces are hilarious, June. For over 700 years. I like that it's just that the farmers were bored. You won that. He wasn't even pulling a face, Ben. That's what I'm saying. I could probably win without even pulling a face. I love this one. Its roots in the 13th century was originally a way for farmers to entertain themselves. I love that. I love that. Okay, cheese rolling. Yeah, Cooper's Hill. That's on the list. I love this one though. When is that? It doesn't say when it happens. The gurning competition. I'm gonna look that up. I don't know where this is either. Egremont Crab Fair? I don't know where that is. When that takes place. But that is interesting to me. Cheese rolling. Okay. I'm not going to read about cheese rolling. Worm charming in Williston. Worm charming is a unique and somewhat bizarre tradition that takes place in the village of Williston, England. The event involves participants trying to charm as many worms out of the ground as possible within the allotted time using various techniques and tools such as vibrating sticks. I know how to do that. The tradition dates back to the 1980s. Despite its odd nature, the worm charming competition is a beloved tradition in Williston. Okay, I know how to do that. Haven't y'all ever put a stick in the ground and beat on it? The vibration sends the worms up to the surface. I've done that. I'm looking for bait. Because some of the gurnets deliberately have their teeth extracted. Is there prize money? If there's not, I'll What's wrong with those people? I do like that idea though. The farmers are like, man, I'm bored. I don't know. Hey, stick your head through that horse collar. Make a weird face. Now let me try. Let's see who's better. I love that. Farmers. I love farmers. Strawberry Festival, Whittlesea. The Strawberry Festival is a unique and colorful event that takes place every January in Whittlesea, England. During the festival, a man dressed in a straw costume known as the Strawberry parades through the town with a group of musicians and dancers. Tradition dates back to the 19th century. That's cool. It's a strawberry. Here it is, Morris dancing. Morris dancing is a traditional form of English folk dance that involves a group of dancers, usually men, wearing colorful costumes and bells on their legs. The dance is characterized by rhythmic stepping, jumping, and the use of handkerchiefs, sticks, or swords. Morris dancing has been performed in England for centuries. It is believed to have originated in the 15th century. There is a video right here. Okay, I'll watch that video. It's just proud of them winning, Genghis? Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but it's showing me. Is that Morris dancing? You have the Westbury Chili Festival. Lots of local chili products. I love chili. The only thing better than my Morris dancing is my chili. Yeah, I'll watch that. I'll watch a video about it. Sounds interesting. Okay, the Pearly Kings and Queens are a group of Londoners who wear elaborate clothing decorated with thousands of small pearl buttons. This tradition began in the 19th century when an orphan named Henry Croft began collecting money for charity by embellishing his clothing with pearl buttons. Today, the Pearly Kings and Queens continue to raise money for various local charities. They are a beloved, recognizable part of London's cultural heritage. I've never heard of that. How about World Hen Racing Championships? It's a unique and entertaining event that takes place annually in Bonsall, England. The competition involves racing hens that are trained by their owners to run a 100-meter course. How do you train a hen to run? Pearly Kings and Queens are fantastic, Jim. It didn't tell me a lot about them, but they're a group of Londoners who wear elaborate clothing, decorated with thousands of small pearl buttons. They continue to raise money for various local charities by attending events and parades throughout the city. Okay, so they show up at a parade or event, helps raise money for charity. And they're covered with embellished clothing, thousands of small pearl buttons. That does sound like it probably looks pretty cool. So yeah, in Bonsall, England, they have the World Hen Racing Championship. Okay. Let's look at, I got a lot more articles. But running out of time. Okay, let's look at this one. This one's called Curious Chronicles, Bizarre Historical Events You Didn't Know About in the UK. Yeah, I probably can find pictures of them, June. Does Morris, your next door neighbor does Morris dancing. Morris dancing, I'm going to check out. That looks good. And also that that ball game that White Company mentioned. I want to see that too. And they throw hot pennies, Ben? I have to look that up. Don't know why. These are bizarre historical events you didn't know about the UK, and I'll just go through them quickly, and you can tell me if any of these are cool or if you've heard any of them. The Great Emo War of 1932. You ever heard about that bizarre historical event? The Great Emu War. It involves a certain British connection in Australia as well. The emus shockingly sprited dodged bullets. Soldiers kitted out with machine guns faced off against emus. The emus shockingly sprightly dodged bullets while the soldiers faffed about with machinery that didn't quite work as intended. It's like a scene out of a sitcom. They didn't quite win this war, resulting in a load of bemused soldiers and plenty of emu-related chaos. I guess the UK Army was trying to get rid of emus down in Australia, and they were not good at it. Yeah, as Ben said, you lost. Fun fact, emus still roam Australia. London's Monster of the Thames. You thought monsters were the stuff of fantasy? Not in London. In 1913, witnesses reported a massive creature in the Thames, described as resembling a large dinosaur. Local lore even suggested it was a dinosaur from the nearby Crystal Palace Park. Can you imagine paddling through the Thames to find a T-Rex? Well, intentions to hunt it down were sparked, but alas, it was never found. Perhaps it simply swam away, leaving internet conspiracy theories in its wake. You wouldn't want to sit on the banks of the Thames, swatting away goose poop and waiting for a dinosaur, would you? Y'all got dinosaurs in the Thames. How about this one? The strange tale of the dancing plague. I've heard of this. Have you ever heard of this? The dancing plague? This is a true story. I've heard of this. I've listened to a whole podcast about it. Okay, in 1518 in Strasbourg, and everyone starts dancing. In 1518 in Strasbourg. No rhythm, no reason, just dancing. It lasted days with people collapsing from exhaustion. Now, this wasn't just a sick dance-off. Some thought it was a curse. Others thought it was a festival. There were doctors giving prescriptions to dance it out. You might imagine yourself among them, trying to keep your tea steady while cha-cha-chaing. Good luck, friends. The event ended after a massive anti-dance crackdown. So if anyone ever tries to get you to join in an impromptu dance party, just remember of this bizarre historical fiasco. Have you ever heard of this? I've heard of this. That is not telling the whole story. It started with one girl. She started dancing for no reason. And then I believe people died. It was hot, I guess. And people danced for days and couldn't stop. This bizarre story. The dancing plague. Also the Beast of Bodmin. Yeah, I've heard of the Beast of Bodmin. How about the tale of the Scone Wars? Yeah, the Howling Big Black Dog. We talked about that before in Cryptids, in the Cryptids live stream. About cryptids. If you haven't seen that, UK versus US cryptids. It's a past live stream. The tale of the Scone Wars. No, you haven't heard of this in your history class, mainly because it happened over something as trivial as a scone. It's said that in a clouded cream standoff, Cornwall and Devon became embroiled in a right fuss about the proper way to enjoy scone. Should it be cream first or jam? The cheek of it all. Just thinking about how serious folks can get over this is a giggle. So it's just, yeah, they argue over cream or jam first. How about this one? The Great British Beer Flood of 1814. Now, he's no beer connoisseur, it says, but if I were to pick a disaster, it might be this one. In October 1814, a huge vat at the Mew and Company Brewery in London burst, spilling over 320,000 gallons of porter, which sounds far more glamorous than beer. The resulting wave of sweet, intoxicating liquid spread through the streets. I'd like to see the faces of the locals, probably a combination of sheer horror and uncontainable glee. Here's the kicker, several lives were lost, as walls collapsed under the weight of it all. Oh, that's sad. October 1814, the Great British Beer Flood in London. You ever heard of that? In the U.S., in Boston, They had a molasses flood, a molasses factory. The Devil's Footprints Across Cornwall in the show is a good story. Okay. Beer flooded in Yeovil too, down the street. Interesting. In Boston, they had a molasses tower burst. Flooded Boston. Slow moving molasses. People couldn't escape it. It wasn't that slow moving at first. It burst out everywhere. But people couldn't escape it, got stuck, and died. People got encased in molasses, and several died. They couldn't get out of it, and then other people couldn't get to them to save them. It's crazy. I feel like a beer flood sounds a little bit better. And yeah, Genghis, now y'all got drunk rats everywhere. Okay, so that's something. Kind of running out of time, but let's look at this last article I got. It's also an event. I'm going to scroll through it. Britain's top 10 quirkiest events. And see if any of these catch my eye. The Chad Olympiad in London. The Chap Olympiad is a celebration of your sporting ineptitude. Think ladies and gentlemen instead of sportsmen and women. Here the aim is to come eccentrically dressed in a prance around in the heart of London. Uphelier in Lerwick, Shetland, the last Tuesday in January every year. Europe's largest fire festival lights up. I have heard of this. Started in the 1880s. Uphelier, I'm probably saying it wrong. Okay, this one also lists the tar barrels, the Great British Duck Race. 250,000 blue plastic ducks clogging the Thames at Mosley Lock near Hampton Court. So they're racing plastic blue ducks. And it always lists cheese rolling. Hocktide was a medieval English festival generally celebrated on the second Tuesday after Easter, where the men of the village would tie up the women and demand a kiss for their liberation. Is that still going on? The women would get their own back the next day by returning the favor. International Worthing Birdman. The Birdman competition is a flight competition that invites guests to create their own flying machines and launch themselves off a special ramp. I've seen those types of things. We do some of those in the U.S. Padstow Abi Os Festival, Abi Os, that's a hobby horse, is held annually on May Day in Padstow, Cornwall. It celebrates the coming of summer. A hobby horse festival. On May Day, y'all love my birthday. In the U.S., nobody hardly knows. There's a few places where May Day is celebrated. Mostly up in the Northeast. But it's pretty much just a nothing day. Nobody knows it's May Day when it's May Day. But y'all be celebrating May Day. My birthday. All over. The only pancake race. In Buckinghamshire. So how do they raise pancakes? Only open to the women of the town who dress up in headscarves and aprons. The race competitors must make their own pancake and demonstrate their tossing prowess before sprinting in a most unladylike fashion along a 450-yard course through the town. Why? Because it's fun. Yeah, they jump off a pier, Adrian. I've seen that. I know, I'm thinking about coming for my birthday. Making sure I'm there on May 1st. Because, yeah, we don't really celebrate May Day very much. Like I said, there's a few pockets of places where they have strong European roots. mostly up east, northeast, uh, and more traditions held a little closer to Europe and Gruden's Day, but most part we don't celebrate May in the U.S. very much. But it is my birthday. Yeah, y'all got some weird traditions. There was more articles, all kinds of weird stuff in the UK. But they're what? They're what, Genghis? Uh-uh. Anyway, that's kind of a fun live stream for me. And I don't know if all those are true. What's the deal with the pancake racing? It sounds pretty cool. What's the deal with throwing hot pennies into a crowd? Hmm, that seems dangerous too. It's just like cheese rolling. It's so dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised if we do it somewhere in the U.S. If we stole your thing. I wouldn't be too surprised if we do. I used to watch The Amazing Race a lot. And there's an episode in The Amazing Race. Yeah, I've seen the Highland Games. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Tossing the cable. All the stuff they do. They also do Highland Games here in the U.S. But, I mean, that's a whole sport, essentially. They do those type of sporting events all over the place. But, pancake racing seems pretty fun. But yeah, I've seen an episode. There's a famous Amazing Race episode. Children carry the fire barrels too? Why company? God, it's crazy. What was I trying to say? The Amazing Race episode where they were doing, and then, well, it was a giant ball of cheese. It was big. It was like a cheese wheel the size of a real wheel. And the guy fell down, and then he hollered out, "Don't let the cheese hit me." Which is just, I don't know why. It made me laugh. There's a giant wheel of cheese coming down the hill chasing him. And he fell. And he was just, his plea. So, he was so sad, but don't let the cheese hit me. It's something that I don't think I'd ever say in my life. Don't let the cheese hit me. Not too hot these days, but they used to be scalding hot pennies. Originally, it was entertaining for the rich, I bet, to watch poor people scramble for hot pennies. Huh, that's mean. I'll have to check that out. But wheelbarrow races, sack races, we do those too. We probably stole them from you. Like I say, we do the wife carrying races too. We probably stole all that from you. Yeah, I don't know if we stole it. We brought it over. you know, Europeans brought it over here. And we still do it too. I wonder if we do any cheese rolling, chasing in the U.S. Maybe. Like I said, I know people would sue. Anyway, that was fun. I guess I'm wrapping things up here. Any more crazy stuff y'all do you want to tell me about? More dancing. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Me, Ben, King, say all of us. You gotta put on a show. Yeah, I know, Ben. But yeah, I'll have something on the channel by tomorrow. I don't know exactly know what. Yeah, we race dogs in America. Not every state allows gambling. You may or may not know that. Some states do allow gambling, some don't. Some allow certain forms of gambling and not others. For instance, in the U.S., in Texas, hi, Choppy. In Texas, casinos are outlawed. And so they're, see, now this gets confusing too. So by state law, casinos are outlawed. However, there are some Indian reservations in Texas, and those parts of Texas aren't ruled by Texas law. They're ruled by Indian law, and they make their own law. So you can find an occasional casino in Texas on an Indian reservation. But Texas, no gambling casinos, but Texas does allow horse racing and dog racing. And there are dog tracks I've been to. There's one down on the Mexican border. I've watched greyhounds race. And there are horse race tracks all over Texas. There's a big one here in the Dallas area. It's called Lone Star Park. And I've been to a lot of horse races too. So yeah, there are greyhound races in some states. I've also been to the greyhound track in Arkansas. There's one, this might be confusing, Memphis, Tennessee. You've heard of Memphis, Tennessee. It's on the Mississippi River. It's on the banks of the Mississippi River. So east of the Mississippi River there is where Memphis, Tennessee lies. But on the west side of the river is what's called East Memphis, Arkansas. It's on the other side of the river. It's a separate city from Memphis, Tennessee. And it's called West Memphis, Arkansas. So it's in Arkansas across the Mississippi River. They have a big greyhound track there. I've also been to that one. So some states allow it, some states don't. Casinos are completely allowed in Nevada. And that's why Las Vegas. Been to an Indian reserve in Florida, Everglades. Seen alligator wrestling, Adrian. Yeah, me too. I mean, Indian reservations are always they gave the Indians bad land. Like the Florida Everglades. It's not good land. That's why there's an Indian reservation in Oklahoma. It's not good land. The parts of Texas that are Indian reservations, they're desert. They're not kind to the Indians, the American Indians. Yeah, Chappie, that's good. You know, on my live stream yesterday, I talked about St. Bees and Carlisle. You might be interested, Chappie, in those places. I was talking about visiting. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up. Everybody have a good day. It's fun looking at some of these clients you have. You know, some of your strange history facts. It's kind of fun. Quirky things that happen. There's probably a million more things. But everybody have a good day. Good seeing you, Chappie and Adrian. Thanks for your help, Genghis. White Company, it's good to see you. White Company, you fish, right? So does Ben. So do me. So do I. June, good to see you. Ben, always good to see you. Sorry, I'm always doubting everything you say. Genghis, cook something good today. Good to see you. Yeah, June, we gotta put on some more Dancing for June. I'm game. But yeah, everybody, it's good to see you today. I'm just scrolling through and make sure I don't miss anybody, but I don't think I am. I can't wait to get over there to the UK and find some square sausages and more stamps on my birthday. So yeah, y'all have a good day. Wayne from Dallas, Texas, signing out.